Alright, Trickers and Trickers, time to take a look at the final episode of the day, which is Business as Usual. Dax and Cork are playing Tongo and Corks while the latter is checking out stock quotes. It then reveals he is practically ruined. Having been banned for doing business with a Ferengi, he is unable to invest or manage his money and owes money multiple loans with the bar as collateral. Excuse me. Since there's a business failure travels fast among Ferengi, Quark's cousin Gayla arrives with a few mocking words and a business offer. Gayla asks Dax to leave so he can have a private conversation with his cousin. He's willing to defy the FCA ban and proposes to Quark to go into business with him as a weapons dealer. Gayla just needs Quark for his people skills, offers him 5% of any sales he assists with, and assures Quark that the industry is growing so fast that within a month, all Quark's debts could be paid off. Within 6 months, he could have his business license back. Within a year, he could own his very own moon. Quark mercilessly says, "What do I have to lose?" Meanwhile, Chief O'Brien is having problems with his baby son, Kiriyoshi. Jake Sisko pops by the O'Brien's quarters and O'Brien explains that while his wife is on Bajor, attempting to get a blight under control, his regular babysitter has had an emergency and is unavailable for the time being. To make matters worse, every time he puts Kiriyoshi down, he begins to try. Jake offers to babysit, as he has had experience watching Felix Prawn's hatchlings, and O'Brien accepts, as he has to start a shift. But as soon as Kiriyoshi is in Jake's arms, he begins crying again. O'Brien takes the baby back and he stops crying as soon as he's in his father's arms. No other choice, O'Brien takes Kiriyoshi to work with him. In the bar, Quark is rocking the chairs, checking to see if Odo is around. He looks carefully and mourns to make sure he's not Odo in disguise. Galen tells him there is nothing to worry about, as Odo just walked by. Galen then introduces Quark to his partner, Hagath, the principal in their weapons dealings business. Their new angle, they explain, is to conduct demonstrations inside Quark's holosuites with holographic replicas of the weapons they are peddling, thus avoiding any rules against bringing actual weapons aboard the station. Hagath seems to like Quark, but warns him, "Don't ever cross me." Quark was also troubled to hear Hagath and Gayla reminiscing over one of their past deals, in which they sold weapons to both sides in the same war. Quark soon becomes a wizard salesman holosuites, and several deals are closed aboard the station. The three toast to the new relationship. Quark says they're being paid with his percentage from Hagath, but takes the liberty of transferring the money directly to his creditors. Quark protests, but Hagath says he doesn't like his partners to be encumbered by debt, which means Quark won't be seeing any actual profits for another few months. In Quark's, O'Brien has his weekly darts game against Dr. Bashir while still carrying Kiriyoshi. Bashir urges O'Brien to put his son down as the chief already has a bad shoulder. When he does him down on the table, Kiriyoshi cries again. While having one of Hagath's female attendants, Talura, Civil Minister Umox, Odo arrives and arrests Quark for dealing weapons on the station. Quark defends himself, saying that Odo can't prove a single weapon has been brought on board. Odo says this is a mere technicality, but before he can go any further, Captain Sisko and Major Care enter and roughly tell him that the Bajoran government is insisted that the lawful transaction of Hagath and associates should not interfere with. Associates should not interfere with, since Hagath supplied arms to the Bajoran resistance during the occupation. Odo is outraged, but Sisko says their hands are tied. Quark begins to gloat, but Sisko and Kira furiously make it clear to Quark that the leniency he's shown in the past is over. The next chance they get, they'll make sure he gets what's coming to him. Something to look forward to, Kira tells Quark before leaving. In Hagath's quarters, Hagath and the Gale are still chuckling over Hagath's coup. Gayla reminisces that all their associates they thought were crazy for sailing to the Durpor Bajorans instead of the wealthy Cardassians, but Hagath predicted the occupation would end one day, and likely any successful arms dealer knows that having a friend in the right place at the right time is sometimes worth more than money. The conversation is interrupted by one of Hagath's employees, Ferak, whom Hagath rates for wasting time on Risa while he was supposed to be closing a deal. Hagath fires the man on the spot. Later, Quark notices that his bar no longer has any Federation customers. Gayla comes to tell Quark that the Regent of Palomar is coming to the station. The Regent is a rich man who is very particular about how he is treated. Quark says he can't wait to meet him. Galen accompanies Quark and advises that he has decided to retire and offers Quark the chance to take his place. Quark says he likes Hagath and would like a bigger share of the profits, but Scarlet Gale remarks casually that Hagath wasn't satisfied with firing his psychic employee, so he sabotaged his ship and had him killed. At the Riflemat, Quark attempts to reconcile with Dax, which refuses point blank to have anything to do with the weapons dealer. He tries to reason that the weapons he sells are strictly for defense. Dax asks him that if he has no guilt, then why is she begging her for forgiveness? Bashir tells Kiriyoshi and finds that there's nothing medically wrong with him. O'Brien questions if his baby just gets sad and then has some neck pain. With Quark's catering services, Hagath hosts a dinner aboard the station for the region of Palomar. His former ally, General Nasuk, has rebelled against him, and the region needs an appropriate weapon to make an example of her and her followers. Gale asks how many casualties is he looking for. The region wants 8 million to start, and then wants the death toll to rise. Gale again asks for a figure, to which the region answers around 20 million. Excuse me. Hagath and Gale discuss what's the best weapon and consider one that should kill 28 million. Quark is very disturbed and asks if they can't just wound some instead of killing 20 million people. The region gets worried, but Hagath quickly steps in and writes off Quark's question as frank humor. On the promenade, Gale later confronts Quark. He wants to retire, but can't if his handpicked successor can't control his conscience. Quark thinks Hagath is crazy and that killing 28 million seems wrong. Gale then has Quark look out the window and says that at that very moment, millions of worlds are fighting each other, and asks if when the lights went out, would anyone really notice? Will Quark really turn down 10 million bars of Latin to turn out one of those lights? Quark has a nightmare in which he is confronted by the ghosts of former friends, including children like Jake and Kiriyoshi, representing the people who have been killed by the weapons he is selling. As the dead Sisko spins the double, he tells Quark, "You lose." He wakes up screaming and whispers, "What have I done?" Captain Sisko enters the office and sees Kiriyoshi sleeping in the engineering pit. O'Brien explains in a whisper that as soon as he went down there, Kiriyoshi fell asleep in his bassinet and O'Brien doesn't want to risk waking him. He doesn't know if it's the lights or the hum, but something in the pit pacifies the baby. Sisko, also whispering, tells O'Brien that he can't keep a baby in the pit and gives him a few days off duty until his wife returns. O'Brien agrees, but asks Sisko if at least they can wait until he wakes up. Sisko reluctantly agrees. By this time, the entire ops crew, including Dax and Kira, have turned over to gaze adorably at the baby's cuteness. Sisko reminds them all they've got work to do. Quark breaks into Dax's quarters to leave the imperceptible trail his Tongo wheel. She angrily asks him to return it. He tries to tell her what he's going to do, but she refuses to listen. After leaving Dax's quarters, Quark says to himself in the mirror, reminding himself, "The worst Hagath can do is kill you. What's one life compared to the lives of 28 million people?" Quark has sabotaged the deal with the Regent. First, he informs Hagath that the supplier can't fill the Regent's order in time, so he proposes that Hagath invite the Regent back to the station to preview an alternative. Quark says his alternative only killed 17 million people, but that should be enough. They also mention that all Quark's debts have been paid, so this is the first deal where he will get his profits in cash. At the same time the Regent arrives, Quark invites General Nasuk to the station to do a deal on the opposite side of the station. Gale panics when he finds Quark with her, but Quark says that they have the chance to make an obscene profit by dealing to both sides, and all they have to do is make sure she and the Regent never cross paths on the station. Then he jumps Gale and conducting General Nasuk into the cargo bay where Hagath and the Regent are waiting. As Quark slips out, both sides begin yelling and shooting. Emerging onto the promenade, Quark casually walks away as Odo and a squad of deputies thunder in the opposite direction towards the cargo bay, hearing reports of phaser fire. Quark smiles as the squad runs past him. In his quarters, O'Brien's creating son when Worf enters, reminding the chief that he was meant to make modifications to USS Defiant's deflector array that day. O'Brien tells Worf that Captain Sisko gave him a few days off, and so Worf told his son while he gets his bottle. Worf the Kiriyoshi will begin to cry as soon as he hands him over. However, he's held by Worf. Kiriyoshi doesn't cry. O'Brien is stunned and then places the baby in his bassinet, where he remains quiet. O'Brien is stunned as Worf voices regret that he didn't see his own son at that age. He tells O'Brien that he's a fortunate man. Worf then notices the chief is fast asleep and quickly exits the O'Brien's quarters. In his office, Captain Sisko informs Quark that he is facing serious criminal charges for the trouble he's caused. Quark defends his actions, saying they didn't know they were going to start shooting. He just wanted the deal to fall apart. Sisko tells Quark that the Regent is dead, and Galen and Gath have fled the station with the Purification Squad after them. Quark tells the captain he can live with the consequences of his actions, and can think of 20 million people who won't shed any tears over the Regent's death. Sisko says he can think of 28,000,001, and Quark knows he is forgiven. However, this doesn't stop Sisko from giving a bill for damages to the cargo bay, which Quark promises to pay in installments in return for the charges against him being dropped. Quark and Dax later play a conciliatory game with Tongo, friends once more. She comments on his ability to get out of tight spots, and he asks for the wheel back, which Dax refuses, saying it's hers now. She spins the wheel again, and they both laugh. Oh, that's nice. So anyway, let's take a look at some production notes from this episode. Of Lawrence Tierney's appearance, Ira Steven Bear enthuses, quote, "It was one of the highlights of my year to have him on the show. He's one of my icons," end quote. Unfortunately, Tierney had suffered a stroke shortly before shooting this episode, and although he could deliver his lines perfectly, he had trouble remembering them. This caused quite a bit of stress for first-time director Alexander Siddig, but at the end, Tierney's performance was one of the highlights of the show. Assistant Director Louis Reyes points out, quote, "He only came to deliver one line. I'm here to buy weapons. Are you here to sell them?" And he delivered that line like somebody calling to you from the other side of death. It was just chilling. So when the guy had to deliver, he did. And when he did his close-up, nobody's seen their trailers. They all came over to watch, in quotes. Some of the weapon props were from the Warlord Battle for the Galaxy. Oh, interesting. Don't know what it is, but okay. Anyway, now let's take a look at some trivia surrounding this episode. Worf's ability to placate Kiriyoshi O'Brien was seen again in the 6th season episode Time's Orphan, where he assumed babysitting duty. A God's verbal warning to Quark while testing Worf as a holosuite is an homage to the 1983 film Scarface, which Beltran's character warns Al Pacino's with the near identical threat, though the word cross replaces a much more colorful metaphor. Gale's speech to Quark, supposed to offer you 10 million gold bars of press platinum, is adapted from Orson Welles' speech in Carol Reed's classic 1949 film, The Third Man. Quark's message features in Quadro Triticale, a reference to the Trouble with Tribbles. The Metron Consortium may also be a reference to Arena. This episode was directed by Alexander Siddig, using the pseudonym Siddig Al-Fadil, under which he had previously acted. Stephen Burkoff previously appeared in A Clockwork Orange alongside Siddig's uncle, Malcolm McDowell. Midway through the episode, Quark is demonstrating a particular weapon to a customer, describing how the weapon is equally effective against moving vessels and surface emplacements. The weapon is said to be a CRM-114. It refers to the CRM-114 device found in the B-52 bombers in the film Dr. Strangelove. So overall, I think it's an interesting episode, and yeah, it's a good thing Quark came to his senses around the end of the episode, because if not, well then, things would not have been good for him, so yeah. So overall, I give business as usual 3 warp cores out of 5. Anyway, tune in more as we take the next episode, Ties of Blood and Water. So, until then, live long and prosper, everybody.